Recognized.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in support of H.R. 2554, and I also want to thank my colleague from Georgia, Mr. Scott, for his leadership on this legislation. We introduced this legislation almost a year ago with a strong bipartisan support. Mr. Scott has worked with the House leadership to help get this bill to the floor today, and I certainly appreciate his efforts. This bill sets up a private nonprofit insurance agent registration system that will help insurance agents and brokers do business across state lines more efficiently. Not only does this help reduce regulatory burden for agents, but it also helps consumers by giving them more choices. At its core, this is really a small business bill. Most insurance agents and brokers are independent small businesses. They don't have a lot of employees, and so when they have to file paperwork for multiple states in order to do business across state lines, that only adds more cost for their compliance. Under this bill, they can register with the new National Association of Registered Agents and Brokers, NAREB, and that will serve as a portal for them to be licensed more easily in other states. In today's economy, this bill makes sense for small businesses. If a customer moves to another state but wants to keep his insurance agents that has worked for him for years, this bill will streamline the process for that agent to be licensed in other states. If a customer wants that agent to trust to help them with policies for elderly parent that they are caring for who lives in another state, this bill also makes that feasible. H.R. 2554 provides a way to streamline insurance agent licensing across state lines without creating a new government bureaucracy, with no cost to the taxpayers, with consistent consumer protections, and without new mandates on states. This bill empowers insurance agents and their customers without making the government bigger or more expensive. The option for NAREB was first included in the 1999 Graham-Leach-Bliley Act, but the bar was not set high enough. Congress realized that in 2008 when the House passed this legislation by voice vote. While the Senate did not take up this bill last time, my hope is that a broad bipartisan support in the House again will move this much-needed bill forward. We've had a lot of debate and discussion in the Financial Services Committee about the big picture for insurance regulation. There are a lot of perspectives on that issue. The good news about this bill, however, is that this is one insurance reform that we can all agree on. I urge my colleagues to support this bill. It's good for small businesses, it's good for our community agents, and it's good for their customers that they serve. And also, again, want to thank Mr. Scott for his cooperation in this bipartisan bill, and I urge my colleagues to support H.R. 2554. And with that, I reserve.
The gentleman